Greetings, this is David Luftig, the Agricultural Sciences Librarian here at Washington State University. In our previous video on creating keywords, we took a research question and we created some keywords from it. In this video, we're going to talk about taking those keywords and creating powerful search statements. To summarize the last video, we had a research question regarding how climate change affects wheat production. From there, we identified our keywords as climate change and wheat and production, and then we identified some synonyms and similar concepts that other researchers might use to frame their own research. Now we're going to talk about building search statements, chaining those keywords together. When we go to virtually any scholarly database, we're going to be presented with these search drop-down boxes. These are Boolean operators, and there's typically three: and, or, not. Although they may seem a bit confusing at first, they're actually pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. They'll save you a lot of time in your own research while also allowing you to find the best scholarly articles. So let's talk about these operators. First, let's talk about or. Or will allow us to chain our synonyms and those similar concepts together. For example, if we did a title search for climate change or global warming, our database would return search results that had either climate change, global warming, or both in the title. At least one of these terms has to be in that title. Or we'll expand our results. We'll get more results when we're using or. And we'll actually narrow our results, but it will allow us to chain our keywords together. So let's say we're doing a title search for climate change or global warming, and we also want to include wheat. So we can search climate change or global warming and wheat. Now our search results must have either climate change or global warming in them, and it must also have wheat in the title, assuming we're doing a title search. Again, and will give us less results, but it will allow us to chain our keywords together. And finally, there is the operator not. Not will allow us to eliminate search results that we don't want. In our last video, I mentioned the term production might be too vague to use. It's not uncommon once you start your research process to have to refine your keywords. So let's say we're searching and we're getting a lot of results that deal with economics, and we're not interested in economic production, but maybe another type of production. If we use not economics in our title search, the search will eliminate all titles that have the word economics in it. Finally, there are two other very useful search tools: the wildcard and the quotations. These commands can occasionally vary from database to database, so sometimes you have to read a database FAQ. That said, these work in many databases, including Web of Science. First, let's talk about the wildcard. It's the star or Shift 8 on your keyboard, and it will search all the variations of the word up to that wildcard. For example, say you were researching temperature changes in oceans, but you didn't want to search all the variations of the word ocean. You could use the wildcard at the end of the N and return results like ocean, or oceans, or oceanic. You could also use a wildcard in the middle of a word. For example, S wildcard food would return results like seafood, or superfood, or soy food. Furthermore, S wildcard food wildcard would return results like superfoods or soy foods. And finally, there's the quotation marks. The quotation marks will search the term exactly as it appears in the quotes. Although databases are always getting smarter, this is still often quite handy. For example, I was recently searching for information that was created by the state of Washington. If I simply searched for the state of Washington bylaw, I got a lot of results pertaining to the Washington State University. But I found my results when I put quotes around state of Washington. So now we have our keywords along with our knowledge of Boolean operators, quotes, and wildcards. Now we can make one very efficient search instead of many different smaller searches utilizing all the different variations of a word. Alright, so here I am on Web of Science, a very powerful science scholarly database. I can go to add a row and add more rows with Boolean operators. How you search and how you make your search statement is entirely up to you. But for me personally, I like to have all my keywords divided up on each separate line. You can add Boolean operators manually in the search bar. This is what I like to do, as I find it allows me to compartmentalize my ideas. In the next video, I'll really talk about utilizing these research databases and really getting going in your research. If you have any questions, please contact me or the university libraries.